What if Can Yaman is about to surprise everyone with the most unexpected role shift of his recent career? For a long time, audiences have been used to seeing him as the confident romantic lead, the intense screen presence, the man who walks into a scene and immediately owns it. But now, a new discussion is starting to build around Bro, and if the early reports are pointing in the right direction, this project could show a very different side of Can Yaman than what many fans are used to. Before we get into it, subscribe to the channel and join the community if you want more clear, hype-free updates on Can Yaman and the biggest projects around him. So what is really happening here? The big reason people are talking is simple. Bro has already been reported in Italy as a comedy project, and that alone is enough to make fans curious. Why? 'Cause comedy changes everything. It changes rhythm, body language, timing, expressions, and even how a star's public image is perceived. A dramatic hero and a comedy lead may be played by the same actor, but on screen they can feel like two completely different identities. That is why this new wave of discussion matters. The latest media talk suggests that in Bro, Can Yaman may not be presented as the classic seductive, larger-than-life romantic figure people instantly associate with him. Instead, there is growing speculation that the character could lean toward something more awkward, more reserved, maybe even more vulnerable around women. And if that turns out to be true, then this is not just a small acting choice. It is a genuine image shift. Now let's be careful here. There is a difference between an officially confirmed full character breakdown and an early media interpretation of where the role seems to be going. Right now, the safest way to frame it is this. The conversation around Bro suggests that Can Yaman may be moving into a lighter, more unexpected character space, and that possibility alone is enough to make this one of his most interesting upcoming projects. And honestly, that is already a big story. Because the real headline may not be whether he is playing a shy man, an awkward man, or a clumsy man. The real headline may be that people are starting to imagine Can Yaman outside the exact mold that made him famous. That is important. Stars often become prisoners of their strongest image. Once audiences love you in one specific form, the industry keeps giving you variations of that same form. The confident hero, the magnetic seducer, the impossible romantic lead, the charismatic center of the frame. It works so people repeat it, again and again. But that creates a problem too. If you stay in the same lane for too long, even success can start to feel predictable. Viewers may still like you, but surprise disappears. And in entertainment, surprise is power. That is why Bro feels so interesting. This project may give Can the chance to do something many actors secretly need at the right moment in their career. Step away from the expected version of themselves and test a different energy. Not necessarily to abandon the image that made them famous, but to prove they can expand beyond it. And that is where comedy becomes so important. Comedy exposes actors in a completely different way. In a dramatic role, intensity can carry you very far. In a romantic role, chemistry can carry you far too. But in comedy, timing becomes brutal. You cannot fake rhythm. You cannot fake spontaneity. You cannot fake that tiny moment of hesitation, confusion, embarrassment, or misplaced confidence that makes a scene land. If Bro really is leaning into that world, then Can Yaman will have the chance to show a part of his screen ability that audiences may not have fully explored yet. And let's be honest, that challenge can actually help him. Sometimes a public image becomes so strong that it starts working against an actor. People stop asking, "What can he do next?" and start saying, "We already know what he is." A project like Bro can interrupt that, can reset the conversation, can make people look again. Instead of saying, "Here is Can Yaman doing the same kind of role," they may start saying, "Wait a second, this is not what I expected." That reaction matters more than people think. Because in modern entertainment, attention is one thing, but curiosity is another. Curiosity is stronger. Curiosity keeps people watching. Curiosity makes viewers click. Curiosity creates discussion. And right now, Bro has the early ingredients of that kind of curiosity. There is another reason this story works so well. A softer, more hesitant, less polished character can actually make a star more relatable. When someone known for confidence suddenly plays uncertainty, audiences often connect in a different way. Instead of admiring from a distance, they lean in closer. The character becomes more human, more fragile, sometimes even more lovable. That does not make the role smaller. In many cases, it makes it harder and more memorable. Think about it. Playing the dominant romantic hero is one kind of performance. Playing someone who gets nervous, says the wrong thing, misreads situations, or struggles to connect smoothly with women can be far trickier. That role depends on nuance. The actor has to invite laughter without losing sympathy. He has to be awkward without becoming annoying. He has to be funny without looking like a parody. If Bro is really heading in that direction, then the performance will live or die on balance. And that is exactly why fans should pay attention. Because this is no longer just about whether a new title exists or whether filming has started. It is about what kind of creative move this might represent. A lot of career moments are loud from the outside but small on the inside. This one may be the opposite. The headlines look simple, but the actual shift could be meaningful. Let's also talk about timing. This kind of change feels especially interesting now because Can Yaman is at a stage where every new project gets measured not only by popularity, but by direction. People are no longer just asking whether he remains visible. They are asking where he is going. What does the next chapter look like? What kind of actor does he want to be seen as over the next few years? That is why Bro matters beyond the role itself. It may become a signal project. Not necessarily the biggest project in scale. Not necessarily the most epic. Not necessarily the one with the most dramatic marketing. But possibly the one that tells us something about how he wants to reposition his screen identity. And that is why the image change angle is so powerful. Because audiences understand instinctively that these shifts are rarely random. When a star takes a role that seems to break from expectation, people notice. Sends a message. Maybe the message is creative freedom. Maybe the message is range. Maybe the message is confidence. Maybe it is simply the desire to avoid becoming repetitive. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. People start watching differently. And then there is the media side. The phrase, "goodbye romantic hero," is naturally dramatic. And media outlets love to present change in the biggest possible terms. That is normal. But the more useful way to read it is not as a total rejection of his past image. It is better understood as an experiment in tone. A shift in flavor. A new layer rather than a complete replacement. That distinction is important. Can Yaman does not need to erase the qualities that made him popular. He just needs projects that reveal more dimensions around them. A comedic role with vulnerability, hesitation, or awkward charm could do exactly that. It would not destroy the existing image. It would deepen it. And in many cases, that is where long-term career value is built. Not by repeating the same thing endlessly. Not by running away from what works. But by expanding what works. That is the ideal scenario for Bro. Now, here is the big question. Should fans already treat the character details as confirmed? Probably not in the strictest sense. What fans should do instead is treat them as a very interesting signal. A strong possibility. A media-supported direction that fits the project's comedy identity, but still needs fuller official character clarity before anyone presents it as final fact. And honestly, that makes the story even better for a video like this. Because the conversation is alive right now. We are in that early phase where the role is starting to take shape publicly, but enough uncertainty remains to keep the mystery alive. That is the perfect moment for interest to grow. Not after every detail is locked in. Right now, when people are still asking questions. Is Can Yaman really about to flip expectations? Is Bro the project that gives him a more human, awkward, comedy-driven screen persona? Could this be the first clear sign of a bigger image shift? Those are strong questions. And they are strong because they feel possible. Also, let's be real. Audiences love transformation stories. When a star known for one thing suddenly tries something different, people pay attention even if they were not planning to. Creates crossover interest. Some watch because they are already fans. Others watch because they want to see whether the change works. Some hope it succeeds. Some doubt it. But either way, the discussion gets bigger. That is another reason Bro could be more important than it first appears. A project like this can do more than entertain, can reposition perception. And if John nails the tone, this role could end up doing something very valuable for him. It could make critics, casual viewers, and longtime fans all talk about the same project for different reasons. Fans may enjoy the freshness. Casual viewers may discover a different side of him. Industry observers may start taking the range conversation more seriously. That is a real win. So when people ask, could Can Yaman's character in Bro have been revealed already? The smartest answer is this. Maybe not fully. Maybe not officially in every detail. But the first real signals are clearly there. And those signals suggest something more playful, more unexpected, and potentially very different from the image many people automatically connect to him. And that alone makes Bro worth watching closely. Because sometimes the most important update is not a trailer, not a poster, not even a casting surprise. Sometimes the real update is the first sign that an actor is about to be seen differently. And right now, Bro may be exactly that kind of project for Can Yaman. If that happens, we will not just be talking about a new sitcom. We will be talking about a new phase. And that is why this story matters. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel and join the community for more clear updates, smart analysis, and the biggest Can Yaman project conversations without the fake hype. See you in the next video.